Elon Musk, Twitter, and multi-factor authentication. One of these things does not play well with the others, and chances are, if you're watching this video, you are probably more qualified to make software architecture decisions than the current CEO of Twitter himself. So if you were wondering how they broke, SMS-based MFA, or even just how it works in general, well, it really doesn't entail too terribly much. So thankfully, a lot of the logic we've already done in this video series, we just kind of piggyback off. And in case you haven't seen any of those, go ahead and check out the description for the playlist, and make sure you hit subscribe so you can see notifications for future awesome video series like these. So, what exactly does it entail? Well, for this, we have to alter our database again just to add 2 extra columns. 1, we have to add the phone number, and 2, we also have to add an extra column to say like SMS is enabled or whatever, just to make sure that, that's flipped on. So we could create, just kind of like with the previous page, a profile with like toggle buttons, but I'm cutting that part out. We're going to focus strictly on the auth side. If you wanted to, you could clone this project, make a profile view for every user to where they could, toggle their multi-factor authentication statuses, but we're leaving that out of this. So what we're going to do is take a lot of that logic. Everything involving the 6-digit codes is actually going to remain the exact same. We will still generate a 6-digit code. We're still going to use the email as the primary key for the user, so that remains on the code table as well. We are still going to have the created at and expiration timestamps established, so that is the same. We are creating the same 6-digit codes. The big difference here is that we will be texting them instead of emailing them. But that's pretty much it. And so we can go about this in a few different ways. I'm going to make mine a little opinionated. You may choose to do yours a little differently. But what I will do is see if a user maybe has text message MFA enabled, and if they do, have that take preference over email MFA. So we'll kind of go with that. But we do need to alter our user table. So I need to take a peek back at that. We'll look at our columns. We have ID, email, password is verified, MFA is enabled. So we're going to alter it. We will add a phone number column, and we are going to store that in, I forget what the standard is called, but it's like plus and then the country code and then, area and then number. So I have a little Google Voice number I've got associated for this demo, so that's what I'll be adding. And then I've registered with Twilio because they're awesome. They have a great product. I don't know why I use Mailgun for the email provider for this when I could have just used SendGrid and made this entirely an email-based or a Twilio-based ecosystem. I guess I was just thinking on like email features, and then the Twitter fiasco happened where they completely broke MFA over the weekend. I actually still don't know if it's fixed, and it's like 3 days later, so it's kind of an engineering nightmare over there. So good luck to all the Twitter engineers out there. Here's to you. But so I'll name it prefers SMS. It's kind of a crappy column name, but we're going to assume that they have MFA enabled if they have this set to true. So this is like MFA is enabled for phone, and then is MFA is enabled is like for emails. So first SMS, tiny int, default 0. There we go, that's added. And then I'm gonna say phone number. Since we are storing it as that standard string, it's gonna be varchar like 10, 11, 12. I don't know, we'll do like 16 to account for everything. Okay. So now that we've got these alterations in place, let's go ahead and update our type definitions for that. I'm going to take our user interface and give it a phone property. And that is that +1. And then my, local area code is 205, then like 123, 1234, that style. And then yet again, I do not trust myself to write down the correct stuff. Been burned by that too many times, so I will copy it directly from Beekeeper. All right, so prefers SMS. Let's go ahead and create our little mailer utility. And by mailer, I mean messenger utility. So I've got Twilio installed, and I have updated my config object to include, so I've got like my Twilio phone number, my Google Voice number. Neither of those are really private. They're going to be, exposed, and they're both temporary in the video, but I just want a convenient variable to reference. I do have my account ID and my auth token as well integrated here. So, but yeah, so I added that before the video, but we've got our table migrated over to include these two new columns. Code stays the same. It's really, really nice that we don't have to change really anything with that. Let's see. So we're going to import the Twilio library. We're going to import my config. And we're going to destructure some of those items out of our config object. Let's see. We've got account SID and auth token that we need to grab. Const client is going to be a Twilio client. They have, let's see, 2 arguments that we need to provide, the account SID and auth token. Conveniently enough, that's what we have extracted out. Let's see. And I probably will need the Twilio number. That's going to be like who the message is from. So we'll do that. So we'll just construct the client for now. Alright, so we'll have a message interface that'll have a text property and a to property. Alright, and so they have, let's see, their API has client and Twilio's got a pretty robust thing. Going to be using their messages API to create a text. And what options do they require? 2. Okay. Just checking out their TypeScript definitions. 2, let's see, there's from, there's body. Okay, so two is going to be message.to. body. And you know what? That's what I'm going to change this property name to. So we can just destructure to and body out. All right, and in the event that 2 is undefined, which I probably will just for this application's sake, we're going to give it a default value of the Google Voice number that I have assigned. So send a message will return that. So all we have to do is really give it an object with a body, and it's going to send a text message for us. That's pretty crazy. And let's export that out. So, login-wise, like I said, I was going to make this kind of opinionated since we're just doing a bunch of like piggybacking code. Since the SMS stuff, the MFA stuff worked out really nicely with our conditional login panel. I think what I'm going to do here is let's see. So if they don't have MFA enabled, that means they're just a regular user. We will make an assumption that if they have SMS MFA enable, you also make sure MFA is enabled. Or maybe you just change this property to like email MFA. So let's see that. So if neither of those are applied, we then say else if so we'll see if they prefer SMS, and so that way we check for this first. So if they prefer SMS, then we'll do the text message stuff. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and send it via email. Or, wait a sec. Because we'll still need to do all of this, like checking here. So, let's see. The code, we don't care if it's coming from a text message or an email, because this is just the code derived from the client side. And this is the validating the code that we have stored on the table for them. So like, it doesn't matter. So we allow them to log in however, as long as it matches. But let's see. We'll generate a new code. And really the only thing we need to conditionally establish here is if they prefer SMS, we send the text. Else, we send the MFA link. And that's kind of basically it. Like, we just need to conditionally do that and this here. So if no code is provided in the body, that means it's the initial login attempt. So we generate a code and we send the email just because that's our primary key on the code table. And that's how we manage all of our temporary codes. But all we have to do here is say like if user.prefers SMS, we'll send the text, else we'll send the email. And so and I already forget what I said that was going to be. Send message. So we already have that imported automatically with VS Code. So we've just added a few lines of code here. And this requires a body property. That body is just going to be the content of our text. And we will say Let's see. Oh. Here, let's see. Wait a sec. Let's mark this as optional, just because I was still having the typing require it. That's kind of So if it's defined, we'll use it. Or I could just send this independently. Oh, well, that's stored on the users table anyway, so I don't know why I was trying to shortcut that there. So I've got that stored on the user table, so actually scratch that. Yeah, why is that being weird about that? Anyway, so we'll have the user phone number. And I believe I added that. I guess I did not add that. So let me go grab my Google Voice number, format that how it needs to be. So update users set phone equal to, I do have that as a varchar, good. All right. There we go. So we've got my phone number saved in the table. Glad we went through that because I had forgotten. Your code is new code.code. We will never call you to ask for this. This code will expire in 15 minutes. Okay, so we'll go with that. So yeah, if they prefer SMS, we'll send the text. Else, we'll send the email. So that's our use case when they first attempt to log in. And then after that, let's see. We'll still need to, nuke all the previous codes, and then we will create that new code on the table for that user. And then here, and we can just do like a ternary for this. So I can say, user.prefers email, prefers SMS, sorry. So we can say check your phone or email. All right, so we did that. We basically just have to do the same thing in the else block here in the event that it fails. So in case the token itself is unable to be validated, and by token I mean the 6-digit code, we'll just go ahead and resend it, and we have the exact same logic. So, this stuff, it's like this verbatim. We really could compartmentalize this into like a secondary handler elsewhere, but the string is a little different. And then here we'll do that ternary to evaluate if it should be phone or email for the newest. But yeah, I think that's it. All backend changes because we did that like cool dynamic client side. So if we take a peek at this, And if I get the app up and running, which, you know, I normally neglect to do, as you guys have noted by now. Let's see, Hunter 2. And I prefer text messages, so it may be taking a while to rebuild. Well, that's not what I want. Let's see. So, logging in. Oh crap, I never set my account, did I? Oh no. Let's see, and I think I have bad Boolean logic. So if user has email disabled, this needs to be an AND. So that was one, bad Boolean logic. We already went through that last episode. Two, I also didn't update my account to say I've got my prefers SMS flag. So it would still email it to me right now. If we check the code here, let's see. Yep, please check your email for the 6-digit code. So let me go ahead and update my user account. So yet again, like I said, you could create like a user profile panel, but I'm strictly focusing on the auth thing. So if you want to be able to make some toggles to flip around your settings, like feel free by all means, please. But I updated my user account, so when I hit login, it should say, please check your phone for the 6-digit code. And hey, sent from my Twilio trial account. Oh my goodness, I have so many things in the way. So my code is 900,340. We'll never recall. So some nice, like it feels legit, right? If I do like 5, that should fail. Say, please check your phone for the newest 6-digit code. Excellent. We'll go ahead and click this new one. Add that here. And we are now successfully logged in. So guess what? Our auth service is up and working with multi-factor authentication on text messages, which is more than we could say for Twitter over the weekend and possibly even until now, a few days later. So can you make better architectural decisions than Elon Musk? Probably. So I hope you guys enjoyed the series. I really had a blast doing it, especially with this last little bonus video. If there are any other future videos you would like me to do, please feel free to leave a comment and I will happily entertain those ideas. And if you want to go ahead and subscribe so that way you can see any other video series we do, please go ahead and check them out. But otherwise, thanks for watching guys, and we'll see y'all later.